Hey, welcome into the Unfiltered Sports Podcast over here on the Unfiltered Sports Network, only on One Jets Pod. I am your host, Todd Fox, and what we're going to do is we're going to give the floor to the one that won the weekend picks, the one, the only, Dominic Lorenz.
Yeah, let's give it up for Dominic.
Let's go, baby. What a way to kick off the 2024 NFL season. This is the way things had to go. I know Randy was at the butt end of situation with the 49ers dominating on Monday Night Football, but hey, a team's got to do what a team's got to do. What a great week. Pleasure having football back in our lives, and it's a short week because tonight's Tuesday. We only have one or two sleeps before Thursday Night Football, and we get back ready to roll. But so much to talk about this week. Three big stories before we dive into all the recaps and everything in this podcast tonight. I think the biggest story that's taken the headlines this week, no, not the 49ers beating the Jets. Sorry, Randy. But it's the conversation of what happened leading in and essentially the morning of kicking off on Sunday. First big story, the whole situation with Tyreek Hill. Miami Dolphins wide receiver is essentially detained just outside of the stadium, handcuffed by police. We're not to get political, even though there's a debate going on right now. We don't get political, but with the way we are in the world in 2024, cops, people, athletes, whatever the combination is, it's a very trying and testy subject here, folks. So Tyreek Hill gets himself into some issues. I was listening about it this morning on ESPN, and he claimed that he didn't really follow the cops' rules because he didn't want people to recognize him in the car. You're outside of the stadium in a car that people see you at training camp, and it's literally 5 hours before a game.
Well, everybody knows if you want to be conspicuous, drive a Lamborghini at 100 miles per hour.
Well,
100%.
You know what bullshit take I heard was that after they uncuffed him and let him go, he was like, "Oh, you guys are cool. I know it is what it is. You're cool." I'm like, "Yeah, right, dude. Like that doesn't sound like Tyreek Hill."
Now, this is what gets me in the whole situation is you see the body cam footage that came out today, and the first thing he's screaming is, Call Drew Rosenhaus, which is his agent.
Yeah.
I'm not a multimillionaire, regardless, even if I'm not an NFL wide receiver or just an athlete in pro sports in general. Is really the agent the first person you want to call? Does that seem legit, or is it, Todd, what do you got? Because we're not athletes. We claim to be.
I feel like this first name that comes to mind, because otherwise he's got to remember like 40 different women's names.
Well, here's the thing that I'm chomping at the bit for, and this is what pisses me off about politics getting into sports, is the fact that we went right to not waiting for everything, the dust to settle. It's just go with first instinct, go with a first take. And these guys are claiming racism, even though none of the cops were white. They were Cuban, number one. Number two, they never showed any of the footage of what really happened until he was dragged out. Then he was sat down forcibly. Now say what you want about the cops. They shouldn't have sat him down like that forcibly. I get that part. But as far as everything else, if you watch the footage from start to finish, which I did, dude was going 100 in a 55 mile per hour zone, weaving in and out of traffic, headed towards the stadium. Of course, he should be pulled over. When you're pulled over, you have to roll down the window. You have to say, hey, you know what? What do you want, officer? You have to give him your ID. He was being very belligerent. He rolled up his window. You can't see in there. He could have pulled a gun. I'm looking at how the cops looked at it. I was pretty, I was like, dude, okay, that's kind of, you're asking for it. Then you continue to give attitude. Should they have pulled him out the way they did? Maybe not, but I still say you made a 5-minute traffic stop into something huge. You were going to get out of this because you're a sports star, because you're Tyreek Hill, and the law doesn't apply to you. If that's me or any of you three, that's a felony for reckless driving. But it's not for him. It's 2 fines, which he got, 2 tickets. Now you're screaming racism, but they're going after the cops. It's like the cops did their freaking job, dude. And then you have Calais Campbell. Last thing I'm gonna say on it, that dummy comes over and parks his truck illegally. They're telling him to move. He doesn't move. They ask him 10 times to show his ID. He doesn't. So he gets arrested too. He was not beat. None of them were beaten. They were arrested for not complying. And this is what pisses me off. If you're an athlete, this is what you're teaching the kids, to disrespect authority. And this is going to happen to more, not just black men, white men, Hispanic, everyone else who wants to go off of what these players do.
Well, here's my thing before I give the floor to Matt and Randy, since Todd and I have kind of started this chain reaction. Two things that I take away from that is you're talking about the perception that the young generation watches these athletes, not just on the screen on Sundays or Thursdays or whatever day they're playing on, but on social media. Tyreek Hill is a gamer. He's on Twitch. He's on so many other things influencing kids. You pull off this behavior, and then literally 4 hours later, 7 receptions over 100 yards and a touchdown. Looks like nobody's business. And now he's on CNN and everywhere else talking about the situation. That's part one. Part two, in this whole grand scheme of everything, look a week ago. 49ers rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall gets shot in San Francisco by an underage minor in that whole situation. And I don't care who you are, not just the Niners, any human being. That should never happen. But the NFL is willing to take a stance on Tyreek. But let's not talk about the Ricky Pearsall situation because it's not affecting him and the brand of the NFL. He's a rookie. This isn't the brand of the NFL. It's great with the Niners. It's not, it's great what the Niners did for him last night to honor him and the police officers, excuse me, and the first responders in that situation because it is a tough situation. But again, we see it all the time. One situation gets taken care of one way and another gets taken care of another way. So it's tough to see. Randy, Maddie, you take the floor, whoever.
No, I mean, it's just the guy he's running his fucking mouth right, as the cop was walking up. Like what the fuck, dude? And I mean, you guys have pretty much said everything. And then you got the fucking Dolphins and everybody just going to this guy's aid and shit. And just, we got your back. Like, he's a fucking idiot. Always has been. Always fucking will be. Grade A class choice fucking idiot. Maddie?
I mean, what more can I say? I as someone who works at high school where you got these young high school athlete football team, showing respect to authority is big, especially at that young age. And you see someone on the caliber of Tyreek Hill who can influence young men. Wasn't a good look. Like Todd said, did they go overboard? They did. Pulling them out like that was very aggressive. And basically it was just two alphas dominating to see who was more dominant. And the police officer showed him that he was more dominant. Again, they dragged him out. Not a good look. He should have been compliant. A lot of times we get pulled over as a black man. We get pulled over. If you're compliant and you're just being respectful, 9 times out of 10, ain't nothing going to happen to you. You're going to have the one a-hole cop that might be, picking on you because of your color of your skin. You might have that. But 9 times out of 10, if you're compliant, you just ask them what they want, roll down the window. How can I help you? What's going on? Hey, listen, I've gotten out of several tickets just by being cool. And I'm a black dude myself. So, I mean, it's just a bad look for Tyreek. All he had to do was just identify himself, roll down the window, say what he had to say. He shouldn't have been dragged like that. I will say that. But, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
100%. It's a tough situation all around, but trust me, that will be in the news cycle for a while. Let's take a turn to, I guess, a positive side, at least for Mr. Maddie over there. Not only does Tyreek Hill's news come out literally at the same exact time when we wake up, Dak Prescott entering a contract year for the Cowboys. They're getting ready to go to Cleveland, what's supposed to be Tom Brady's debut in the broadcast booth. This colossal battle of two dominant teams in the NFC and AFC respectively. Dak, just weeks after CeeDee Lamb gets his money, Dak gets his money. He is now a $240 million man. And I believe, Maddie, you can correct me on this, he's the highest paid quarterback, or now one of the highest paid quarterbacks at $60 million a year. Maddie, take the floor, my friend.
not only the highest paid quarterback, he's the highest paid NFL player in the history. So give him credit to that. Do I want him to have the money? Hey man, I'm never gonna go in any man's pockets. I'm happy for him. Hey, thank you, Dak. Did he deserve it? Can't say he didn't deserve it, but let's be honest. Usually you get rewarded for the things you've done. What has he done? Nothing for us. He's been to the playoffs a few times, only won 2 games? Not good. Hasn't even sniffed the NFC Championship. We haven't been there since I was 7, which was in '95. So I could have saw like Patrick Mahomes getting that type of money because he's proven time and time that he's worth it. But I will say I'm happy we signed him. Dak is a pretty solid quarterback, and the way the market is looking, who were we going to get? Yeah. So it's one of those situations where it's like, you just got to keep who you got, man. That's the best thing, the best option you got. Because if you wanted to go with the draft, that's another 4 or 5 years we're going to waste. And Jerry Jones is trying to win one before he croaks and hit the grave. And so I'm happy for Dak. I'm happy he got his money. I'm ecstatic, not really, because it's another 4 more years of prove me, Dak, and and I hope he can prove and make that money worth. But as of now, it's a prove me. You got the money. Let's see what you can do with it.
I appreciate the realism in that sense. Thank you. At least
I mean, I it's like Matt said, like, I think Dak's a good quarterback, and this is just an outsider looking in. I think he's a good quarterback, and it's who else? Where else were you going to go? I mean,
Trey Lance wasn't
going to go draft
Stop
a guy.
it.
I mean, and then there's nobody else really who you could go out there and get. I mean, what are you going to go out and tap Zach Wilson and groom him?
Stop it!
Like, come on, man. Dak can play quarterback. He is a legit NFL quarterback. I mean, put some better weapons around him. I'm just saying.
Look, Dallas is built to win. They got the team they got the defense, they got the offense. There
no
wasn't
running game, pal.
I disagree. I think you can find one with that team. I think the thing is, you haven't had excuses before this, and you really don't have them now. I don't want to hear this automatically. He's top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He isn't. It's like Matt says, proven the playoffs. Dallas reminds me of the Dodgers. Whatever you do in the regular season, they can win 16, 17. I don't care. What are you going to do in the postseason is what I care about. And if Dallas keeps getting bounced in the first round, no offense, Matt. If they keep getting bounced in the second round, no offense, Matt. Then they're really not a legitimate team. No offense, Matt.
None taken. None taken.
Okay. Just
last year was our best year, is all I'm saying. And look what we did with that.
No, I think I agree with all of you guys. I think it's a prove me situation. Dallas has to prove that they're in it for the long haul. You lock up 2 guys for a very expensive price. I do think I don't want to say they're legitimate Super Bowl, but they are legitimate to win the NFC East, like we talked about last week. Playoffs, it depends honestly on the matchup scenario, because if all else failed, look at last year. Tampa Bay against Philadelphia. On paper, Philadelphia should have beat them 100% of the way. But getting to the end of the season and at the right time and the right matchup, it did not work out. So I think it's a matchup base right there for Dallas. I do think out of everything Dallas has on the table, objectively as a Niner fan, I think their running game is their weakest part. So this is a clear direction that Dak is going to be throwing 40 times a game for at least 300 yards. That's what they have to do in order to be somewhat successful moving forward. I think it's going to be one of those situations. But Dak gets his money. Moving on to the final big story of the weekend. Let's talk about the brand new rule in the NFL. The kickoff.
Ooh, that kickoff.
They talked about it a lot during the Monday Night Football game with the landing zone within the 20-yard marker. If it goes in the end zone, it's probably a touchback unless it's taken out. If it's in the landing zone, you must go. There's more nuances and complexities to that rule. That's just the generics. On a scale of 1 to 10, Todd, I'll start with you. How do you grade, or how do you like or think this rule will impact the game moving forward?
I'll actually say this. I like it. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I like it because it incentivizes the team to kick it to the kick returners, and you saw some all-star kick returners being back there to try to make some plays because again, you don't have this long run up to where the offense or the receiving team has to run all the way back and then come up. They're already in position to block, and you don't want to kick it out of bounds because then the team automatically gets it at the 30. So you have a chance to pin them in deep, but you also take that chance of the gaps are right there. And if the kick returner makes the right decision, you get the right block, it's gone. It's TD time. So I like that because, again, with or without this or without this rule, you're not going to get half as many kickoffs as we would have gotten, last year if we didn't have this rule compared to this year. Basically, you're going to have a lot more kickoffs, and it's going to make things more interesting. That's just my take.
In fairness of keeping this short, I'll just say I don't care until it screws the Jets.
It's okay until something happens to you. Like there was a great stat last night from Joe Buck and Troy Aikman that says the average starting field position was 26-yard line last year. If you do a touchback, you're at the 30. At the end of the day, and I think Aaron Rodgers agreed with this statement in his either presser or just talking about it in the media. What's 4 yards going to change at the end of the day? It could change a lot, yes, but in theory, what's 4 yards really going to do? It's not like, the average field position was at the 22 and we're moving to the 40.
Yeah.
4 yards at the end of the day. And if they're going to help player safety for more head-on-head collision, neck injuries and such, the NFL always claims player safety, but then things happen. So, give that for what it is at that point. Matt, what do you think?
I'm with Todd. I like it. It's a lot more explosiveness. It definitely has more flair to it. It's being able to kick it to the kickers and they actually return the ball without any risk of injuries. I like it because, they can't move until they catch it, right? Once it's in the 20 zone.
Yep.
Defenders can't move. So to get a head start like that, chances are your team might score. You might be down 2 touchdowns. The next thing you know, you kick off, get a good run like our guy Turpin did, and take it to the house. So I like it. I like it for the excitement. I like it for the scoring. I'm for it.
It does affect how onside kicks though. Like you have to line up like that at all times. Like you can't. There's no special onside kick lineups anymore, right?
Yeah, that's true. And you have to be down. Yeah, and you have to be losing in order to do an onside kick.
Yeah, yeah.
I
like that. I do like that. I mean, if they're gonna come up with some crazy rules, I kind of like that one. But man, I like that one too. That onside kick and just the whole setup. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I like it. I like when the NFL tweaks some things and make adjustments, even like with the tackling of the quarterback. You want to protect the quarterback. They're your breadwinner, and to see the defense adjusting, like when they had that bone. We'll get into it. We'll get into that game. That bonehead call. You already know where I'm going at. Oh
no, man! But there's at least for week 1, your top 3 stories of the week. And I think if I'm going to hand it off to the next person, I don't know if it's Todd, Randy, Matt, whoever wants to take the next lead. I think we're doing recap of the what the F game. Am I right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that Bears-Titans game. I want to say this. I want to take first crack at this if I can, man. Dude, Caleb Williams, I've been over this guy since he was his final year at USC. Crying to your mama, painting your nails, expecting to be the leader.
I'm crying to the mama.
Yeah, look, during the game with your pads on. After the game, maybe, but not during.
But pads on, come on.
Yeah, he's crying, basically sitting on her lap like Santa Claus. But anyway, I'll make this short. I can't stand the fact that this guy just expects everything like in a silver spoon. And the fact that he not only did not say, hey, man, I had a poor performance against the Titans. No, Dick, you threw for the less yards than anybody. Your offense did absolutely nothing. The best quarterback for the Bears was Will Levis. He led to more scoring drives than you even came close to. So don't give me this crap. And I told you since day one, and I'm not jumping off this hill, guys. He is a tremendous bust.
I think it'll be time.
So go ahead, Dominic.
No, I agree. And I was a fan of him at USC. He did a lot of good things for the program until that last season. I think time will tell. But if this is the consistency trajectory, I'm looking at the numbers. 8 targets to DJ Moore, 11 to Keenan Allen. They combined for 9 receptions and 65 yards on 19 targets. If it wasn't for the Bears defense, who had
Zach Wilson, I'd be hearing that shit for fucking weeks.
All season last year on the One Jets pod, we had that. It was a field goal, a block punt return, a field goal, and interception return. No offensive points outside of Cairo Santos, their kicker. No. I'm sorry. I can defend USC players for a decent amount of time. No. 96 yards, 196. Maybe you didn't have good red zone. Maybe you had a couple bad throws. It was your first game. 96? And hold on. He's this elusive runner, right? 5 for 15.
Yep.
Next, please. Next person.
I'm just going to say USC quarterbacks. USC quarterbacks. I told you. I'll keep saying it.
Sam Darnold was the best SC quarterback.
Matt Leinart, baby.
Didn't Sam Darnold have his first 200-yard game?
Mark Sanchez.
There you go.
He had a defense and a running game.
Yep.
Hey, Mark Sanchez went to the AFC Championship. If you could just say that.
No, Mark Sanchez tagged along today.
What do you think, Matt, on that?
I mean, I'm with Randy. USC quarterbacks always have a history. It was the first game. At the end of the day, he's 1-0. Can't take that away. First time a rookie quarterback started 1-0 since what was that? Derek Carr, I believe. So you got to give him credit for that, just that. But to be honest with you, it was a horrible game. Both quarterbacks actually played pretty bad. That one throw from the Titans quarterback, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Dude, that throw where he's getting sacked and he just launched it up and said, "Doink!" Yeah, man, that.
He didn't even have to fall to his knees. He was hard.
No, he just like, and then his reaction when they intercepted and when a pick six was like, "Oh my god!" Like, duh, you don't do that.
Like he found his girlfriend on her knees with another dude.
Bruh. Look, both quarterbacks played like rookies, so I mean. Time will tell. Let's give him another shot. It's just week 1. So we'll see what happens. If he does better next week, hey, he might be a little better than Mark Sanchez.
No, Mark Sanchez is definitely better than him. You see what Mark Sanchez had almost 200 yards, if not a little over 200 yards in his rookie debut, and he beat the Texans.
I think the best thing we should do, since it's only week 1, we should write down all of the, what the F games and rank them. What was the best what the F game or the worst what the F game of the year? And literally just rank them 1 through 17 and just be like, remember back in week 7, that shitty game? Like,
oh, yeah.
Because I think Bears Titans, based on the numbers, that could be potentially a top 3 what the F game.
Absolutely. Well, We'll
anything with Caleb Williams is going to be a what the fuck.
Well, you know what? Yeah. All year, either Giants or Carolina will be hosting one of those. But we'll see.
Who will have the most? Who will retain the title for most what the F appearances?
Do Giants and Carolina play each other this year?
We'll have to look.
I threw up just thinking about it.
I think you get McDonald's combo with that, just getting a ticket right there for that.
Carson Palmer was legit. He was okay. I mean, he was
solid.
He was rare.
I feel it's that soundbite where, well, it was all right.
Yeah.
I feel that's the soundbite.
He was never really the same after that first knee injury, though. He seemed to be a quarterback after that.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's jump into this first game's Thursday night game. Obviously, Was a really good game. It literally came down to a toe. Best meme I saw was the receiver getting his toe amputated after the game. The Ravens, look, this I'm just going to say this, and I want you guys' remarks on this one. To me, it looked like last year's AFC Championship game where the Chiefs did just enough to take the lead, keep the lead, hold on to it. But then the only difference from last year was their defense wasn't as good enough as it should have been at that last drive. And they probably got too comfortable in the fourth quarter because to me, again, the Ravens look like who we thought they were. Derrick Henry or no Derrick Henry, same old Ravens trying to run the ball when they should be passing, trying to pass the ball when they should be running. And bad decisions and poor accuracy by Lamar Jackson. Thoughts?
I mean, watching those last two attempts at a fucking touchdown was pathetic, man. And especially that second one. I mean, he's got guys wide open. It's not like he has all this pressure in his face. I mean, he's moving around like he always does. So I don't want to hear no excuse there. Like, I've never seen a quarterback not be that bad, that's considered that good. Like he misses some really easy fucking throws, man. And people are absolutely right. He really is a glorified running back. Holy shit.
I think it's a situation where Lamar and the Ravens, they are who we thought they were. I'm still on the fence, not on the fence, but I'm still on top screaming this one out loud. Lamar is a running back who can pass, not a quarterback who can run. Prove me that I'm wrong. The accuracy has been his biggest downfall in his career. He's got the wheels. He can throw a deep ball. He can do a lot of things. The slant routes, he can do it all. But it's the accuracy that's been the biggest problem. Pairing that with it being a 2-versus-1 game of Ravens versus Chiefs plus referees, come on. How many false start penalties? How many illegal formations are we going to call? The holding calls, hands to the face. Things are extremely blatant that nothing is happening. Come on. How can an assistant coach call a timeout when only head coaches can? The refs get together. Clearly, Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, is a skinny old guy. Andy Reid ain't skinny. How can you miss Andy Reid? And I'm not fat shaming. I'm just saying. They're two completely different people. That's a problem. How do we allow that? Either way, it was going to be a timeout because they took like 10 minutes to discuss it. What are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, I expected the Ravens to win that game. So, I'm a little disappointed. I thought the Ravens were going to come out with more fire, try to prove a point that
they may have.
You know what? Hey, he wasn't at his best game. I will say this: Isaiah Likely. Hey, man, if he was a size 10, they win that game. But unfortunately, I don't know what size he is, but he was just one size too big. Pulse. And so I would say though, but give the Chiefs credit. I didn't think they had enough firepower, but hey, man, Patrick Mahomes, he's that guy. I'm sorry. He's like the modern Tom Brady. He makes everybody else better around him. It doesn't matter who you are, no name or whatever name you are, he'll make you better. So I'm with you with that analysis, Dominic. He's more of a runner back, quarterback style than he is a quarterback running back. Yeah, that's a pretty good analysis. I'll give you that.
The last thing I'll say on this is Lamar Jackson, 16 carries, 122 yards. You could say, oh, that's great fantasy numbers. That's good. I don't like my quarterback taking hits like that. It's not like this dude has been healthy his entire career. He's hurt the Ravens a few times. And yet, to me, I've always looked at it this way. Wasn't it last year or the year before last when the Ravens got back, or when they lost Lamar for most of the season and they still got to the playoffs? This is a defensive-laden team. They're going to win games regardless. But I just don't like my quarterback taking hits like this. I really, really don't. So that'll move us to San Paulo with all the stuff that happened, prior. Don't drink the water. Don't bring your family down. This is kind of dangerous. They said, hey, there's a big gang down here that wears green. Hey, welcome Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers.
Packers wore the green.
All of them.
The NFL said, screw it. Bring on the gangs. We're coming.
Bring on the gang.
the game, look, all I'll say is this, and I want you guys' thoughts. I heard nothing but talk in the beginning. This is why I hate pregame shows. All they said was, hey, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles is great. Hey, the defensive coordinator for the Packers, everybody loves him. No defense for either side. And then Jordan Love suffers a injury that, guys, that's going to affect that NFC North.
Yep. I think it's one of those cases where everybody talked about Green Bay being serious Super Bowl contenders, even before Jordan Love got hurt. Sure. Did they have a chance at winning the division? Sure. Could they win at least one playoff game? Sure. I never saw them as Super Bowl contenders. They're not there yet. Jordan Love still has to prove himself. Their wide receiving core is good. They had a lot of injuries last year. They need a full year under that belt. That defense has opportunities, but they never truly cashed in on those opportunities last year. So it's a lot of, we have the pieces, now just galvanize together. Now Jordan Love, knee injury, probably out for, I'm going to say 4 to 6 weeks based on it. MCL issue, not an ACL. So for fantasy people out there, put him on the bench for a couple weeks. I have to do it. One of my leagues, I have Jordan Love. My backup quarterback, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Step up to the plate. Let's go, baby. We got to do what we got to do.
Got to do what you got to do.
Unfortunately, I think this is definitely going to hurt the Packers because their backup quarterback is going to struggle this week. And it could be a struggle for the next couple of weeks until Jordan Love comes back. We'll see what happens. But overall, it was a nice game. If you like high offense, Saquon Barkley, a good debut with the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts looking a little iffy. I think the Eagles could be very similar to where they were last year. Success early on, but they won't have the longevity.
No, yeah, I mean, Jordan Love getting hurt's big. I mean, I had the Packers winning that division, in our first episode. Having that have them, start for the next 3 to 6 weeks. And then Jordan's got to come in, in 3 to 6 weeks and try to knock off Russ. Like, it's a sad state of affair for the Packers. I feel for them, just like Dominic said. I don't know. I thought they were going to be a special team. Like Dominic said, I don't know if they were a Super Bowl contender. Definitely a playoff contender, definitely a contender for that division. But, man, I mean, there you go, NFL. I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Definitely going to be crucial for the Packers. Don't think they're going to recover from this. They might lose all 6 games if he's out 6 games. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is, to be honest with you. But losing Jordan Love, this was supposed to be a breakout year, possible division winning team. I had the Lions winning that division, but a lot of critics had the Packers up there. But it is a blow to the team. I thought they were going to beat Philly, but I was proven wrong. But it's definitely a blow, and hopefully, well, I do know he's not going to be on the IR, so that's good news. So he probably could just miss 4 weeks. But if it's longer, chances are the Packers won't make the playoffs. So a crushing blow to lose Jordan Love on pretty much the last drive of the game.
Yeah, you had good offensive play from the Packers up until that point. Josh Jacobs had a nice game. They did have a couple turnovers, not much defense by either team. Jalen Hurts, I'm not sold on the Eagles. He had a couple turnovers, but Saquon Barkley, if that dude can stay healthy all year, the Eagles may be dangerous again. Might be that dark horse, but I don't see it happening. Track record,
yeah.
But he had a hell of a game. This was a good game. I forgot to mention the score. Chiefs beat the Ravens 27-20. This one was 34-29. So opening games were very exciting. So that'll throw us over to Sunday's game, and that would be the first one that we're going to talk about here, which would be the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Real quick, the Jaguars wound up losing this game 20-17 at the final bell. They led this game throughout. You had the whole Tyreek Hill thing, and then you had the Jaguars, who I'm down on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. And this one kind of went to script, I think, for most of us, right? Didn't we all pick the Dolphins for the most part?
Yeah. No,
yes, we did.
Oh, no, Randy, I think, picked Jackson.
Randy didn't pick him.
Oh,
Randy wasn't going to pick no Dolphin.
I was looking good for about 3 quarters.
And then Trevor Lawrence, the real Trevor Lawrence, stood up.
I'll be perfectly honest. I think Jackson.
I took the helmet off. It was Will Levis.
I think Jacksonville is going to be the new Chargers, where they play well for 3 quarters and blow it at the end. That's
a good one.
A model of consistency in that sense, because not to foreshadow, but the Chargers weren't the same Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. And I'll get into that. I might have to eat crow a little bit this season on the Chargers. We'll get to that later. But I think Jacksonville could be that situation. If they have a similar season to last year, I think Doug Peterson could be on the hot seat. No doubt about it. With the 500 record of bouts throughout his tenure in Jacksonville this far, with a number 1 overall quarterback, he's had offensive weapons, ETN, Calvin Ridley last year, Kirk, Ingram, and a couple rookies that they brought in. That defense used to be scary. Maybe not super scary, but they were legitimate. They could force a couple fumbles, interceptions in a game. But this went to script. The only thing that didn't go to script for me in this game, I thought Miami would get off to a faster start, but it could have been the whole issue. Tyree, Campbell, that whole situation maybe kind of got them off on the wrong foot.
I mean, Dak played well. Who else? Jordan Love played well. The only quarterback that got fucking paid that didn't play all that well was Tua.
Yeah.
Like, the Dolphins look mediocre as shit. Like, I know it's week 1, but damn, they're supposed to be one of the most exciting teams in the NFL, one of the fastest teams. Like, I thought, I picked Jacksonville, but damn, dude, like I thought it was going to be a lot more exciting game than that. But holy shit, dude!
I will say that play after ETN made that fumble in the end zone to cost them that touchdown, and then the next drive, Tua throw that 80-yard pass to Tyreek Hill. Hey, that was definitely a statement play right there. Just to let them know we might be down, but we ain't out. So I'll give them that. Just after having a fumble in the end zone, that is, that can definitely ruin your team psyche. But the next drive to have that first play to take it 80 yards to the house, definitely, I think that right there turned the game over.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I look at this to go off of Dominique's comment. I don't think it's the coaches. You've had 2 coaches under Trevor Lawrence. I think the problem is Trevor Lawrence, and also now the problem is you just paid him. So now you're stuck with him.
So I think that the coach is going to be the scapegoat.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But I think just like Deshaun Watson, you paid an unproven quarterback too much damn money, and he's your problem now for years.
Man, that entire draft class is just looking like a shit fest.
Yeah, everybody thought that was. I think I said it maybe to Randy or to whoever. I think I said that's back in the day. That's probably one of the better draft classes that we had. Probably since 2005, over the last decade, let's say. Now,
yeah,
no. Maybe on paper, but not in actuality.
Man.
Well, let's move on to probably one of the more shocking games of the week, and we're going to go to Cincinnati, where the Patriots. Everyone on this panel predicted them to suck this year, and they still can.
They will.
But really, dude, you're the Bengals. You're a high octane team, and you lose at home. 16-10, and quite frankly, guys, this game wasn't even that close.
I mean, do we think T. Higgins gets his money now? They sorely missed his ass in that game. Like,
you mean Jamar Chase?
I just think the Patriots, they want to, they're playing hard for Gerard Mayo in that first game. Like I've seen it several times, with the Jets and coaches like that. So, and the Bengals, man, I mean. Sometimes they can play down to their competition. They can be real mediocre, even with Joe Burrow at quarterback. And that's just the way they played on Sunday, man. So, and the Patriots took advantage of it. But I don't expect to be seeing the Patriots winning many games this year. I'd say don't get used to that shit.
I'm not going to go.
I don't know.
I'm not going to go. Oh no, my bad, Matt. I'm going to keep it simple. One word. Sad for Cincinnati. Move on.
I'm going to say this. The Patriots did surprise me. Ramondre Stevenson played a pretty solid game. I didn't think he would do pretty good based on the preseason, the way he was playing. He played pretty good. He had a running touchdown. The Patriots actually shocked me. I will say the Bengals are a lot worse than we thought they were. We all picked the Bengals to win. But I will say the Patriots played with a lot of fire and vigor. The new head coach they have there had this team prepared against a, on paper, solid Bengals team. So I will give the Patriots a little credit. I thought they were going to be just flat out horrible, but I was proven wrong, and I got to give credit where credit's due. I could see the Patriot being that dark horse. I could see them competing. Might not win all the games, but I could definitely see them being in the game for a long time this season.
I would have to agree defensively. They'll stay close, but if Jacoby Brissett's still your quarterback by year's end, that's the problem. I don't know. I've never been sold on that guy. He's a good filler. I just don't think he's a future guy. So that'll move us on to a surprising game as well. The midget led the Cardinals, the irrelevant Arizona Cardinals, into Buffalo, and Buffalo was supposed to beat the snot out of the seven dwarfs over there in Arizona, but Arizona was putting on a clinic in that first half until they Snow White and the Buffalo Bills remembered who they were and beat the crap out of the dwarfs in the fourth quarter.
Well, Josh Allen had to put on that superhero cape, man.
I'm gonna start it off. Check this out. Arizona in the first quarter, they look like a shocking team. I ain't gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be one of those games where it's like, damn, I'm 0 for 2 when it comes to the pick'ems because I picked Patriots to lose, and this was also an obvious game. We all picked Arizona to lose, and for the first quarter, I was like, yo, they're actually looking pretty good, but the Cinderella story happens, and they went down to earth, and I don't know what happened. Josh Allen effect, man. He pretty much carried that team and willed himself to a victory. I don't see him doing that all season long. He's definitely going to need some help, but kudos to Josh Allen. When we thought it was going to be over in the first quarter, he bounced back and came back and took the lead and kept it. And, Kyler Murray and them tried to make it interesting. They had a shot at the end, but, Arizona's the Cardinals. So that's all I can say.
No, yeah, I'm sitting there watching this. I'm watching this game. I'm watching this in the Dolphins game. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Dolphins and the Bills looking like shit. I wanted to text Todd. I bet you're scared of Arizona now, huh, some bitch? Nope. Josh Allen came in the second half, did Josh Allen things, and made the Arizona Cardinals his fucking bitch.
No, I think Josh Allen, thank you. He's on 2 of my fantasy teams, so thank you, Josh Allen. But I think as I talked about on the first show, he is going to have to relearn to play quarterback without Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, who have been his security blankets the last couple of seasons. So you're going to see some lumps in the road early on, but I think he is a very good quarterback to get through that after a couple of weeks and build that relationship and get stronger as the season goes on. The defense, highly suspect, but if Josh Allen throws up 30 points a game and the defense runs into a good game here and there, they'll continue winning. No doubt about it. So I think they will go as far as Josh Allen will take them. And I think that's been true for the last couple of seasons.
That's 100%. I agree.
All right, so I'll move us on to a very underrated game, which did not get much pub before or after because of all the other different games that were on. And that is the Colts at Texans. CJ Stroud, love this guy, love the way he plays, and I love the coaching style. There's a lot to love about the Texans. I want to see how Diggs fits in with him. He scored a touchdown. As far as I'm down on Richardson, I don't think he's a quarterback for the future. I know you guys disagree. His short passing game sucks, but boy, can he throw a nice deep ball. Mm-hmm. And he hit on 4 of those to keep the game close. And surprisingly, very close. Texans get the dub, 29-27.
Yeah, I don't got much to say. I mean, Anthony Richardson, I agree with you. The short game sucks. The kid can sling the fucking rock, man.
Yeah.
But I think as the season progresses, I think the Colts are going to get a little better. So don't sleep on them just yet, man. Not just yet.
I want the Houston Texans to get 1 or 2 bona fide all-pro defensive players. If they beef up that defense with legitimate stat guys, with DeMeco Ryans, who's a defensive-minded guy, as their head coach from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, that Houston team in a year, I don't want to say a year or 2, maybe a little bit more, because again, CJ Stroud's only in year 2, but I believe in the kid. I think they could be what we hoped Joe Burrow and the Bengals could be. Joe Burrow and the Bengals were that team to go against Kansas City for 1 year, maybe 2, and then it fell off with injuries and issues. I think at this young pace, Houston can be that team because DeMeco Ryans has that team going in the right direction at a more expedited pace than Zach Taylor does in Cincinnati. So
True.
Get a couple bona fide defensive pieces. You got Joe Mixon, talented guy. Stephon Diggs, new home, multi-touchdown game. Tank Dell, second-year guy. Nico Collins, a young guy. C.J. Stroud. That O-line, not too bad, but if you keep stacking up, and like if you got 2 legitimate like J.J. Watt type guys when he was there in his prime, Houston can be very scary in that AFC, and I think that would catapult them easily to a division win and a top 3 team in the AFC.
You want to go at it, Todd?
No, go for it. I already said my piece.
All right. I will say that Houston is definitely my pick to win that division. The game didn't. It was back and forth. It could have went either way. Richardson's played okay. C.J. Stroud played okay. Well, it was definitely a close game. It could have went either way. But I will say this. He got weapons. C.J. Stroud got a lot of weapons. Say what you want about Stephon Diggs. I think he adds a tremendous piece to that combination where you got Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Stephon Diggs. Probably the best 3 wide receiver trio there is in the NFL. Cap that off with Joe Mixon making some good runs. Hey, I like this team. I can see them making a deep run, and I can also see them making the playoffs and, hey, compete with the Chiefs for that division, for that conference.
Yeah. It's a strong take because they're right there. So now, look, enough of the games, guys. We're going to talk about these next 2 games. If they don't make you wet as a fan, then I don't know. I don't know football because I don't know what you guys were doing at 10 a.m. on Sunday, but I put my Giants jersey on. I could not wait to see the Vikings and Giants go head to head because I was looking forward to Daniels versus freaking Darnold. That is the quarterbacks of the future, right? And again, there's not one person alive today that witnessed the Giants wear those jerseys. So why the hell would you wear them? First off, ugliest jerseys I've ever freaking seen.
That look like the good old Winnipeg Jets or Montreal Canadiens hockey jersey.
Yes,
you're being very disrespectful, Todd.
All I'm going to say, Maddie.
You should have wore those in December when it was a blizzard in New York.
You're being very disrespectful.
As ugly as those jerseys are, guys, that's exactly how the Giants played.
Get ready for it. Giants are going to be one of the worst teams in baseball, guys.
Baseball?
Did I say baseball? I'm thinking of Angels. Shit. Football. But, I mean, the Vikings just got lucky that that's who they got to play. I mean, the Vikings, I think they'll be, like I said, I think they'll be okay. They're definitely the 3rd place team in that division for me. But they just got lucky they put the Giants. That is just a trash football team. I mean, you saw Daniel Jones. I mean, the fans stayed around just so they could boo his ass.
Horrible.
Hey, you have to think of it. You got to think of it this way. I know the next game we're going to cover because I'm going to combine both those games. I would have rather changed 100 kids' diapers and wasted my Sunday than watch both of those games. Those were games that you can. Like on the dating apps, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Swipe away. No one needs those games. Those were the old style Thursday night games where no one gave a single
right.
Yeah. And I'm using the word crap because, baby poo, crap team, crap players. It's all one big shit fest. Next.
Yeah, Matt, do you want to take a shot at this or should we move on to the next shit game?
I ain't got nothing to say, man. The Giants just is trash. That's all I can say, man.
Well, as a Cowboy fan, I'm sure you're happy with that. So let's move on to another game. Again, we all talked about in the preseason picks that the Saints should have cut bait a long time ago with these veterans. Start over. We said they were going to be very mediocre team at best, and they're going to take their lumps this season. But giving the way we talked about the Saints, how bad are the Carolina Panthers, dude? The Saints, they shouldn't be beating them 47-10.
It just tells you how bad the Carolina Panthers are. They are horrible, dude. If they are not the second worst team in football, they're definitely the worst, man. I mean, it's definitely going to be a race for the number one overall pick between the Giants and the Carolina Panthers, man. That's for sure.
No,
that's all I got to say. Just trash football.
I think I'm just going to put it out there now. I think Carolina once again will be the worst team in the NFL with the Giants getting the number 2 pick overall. I
don't know, man.
I
don't
know. Their record precedes itself, Carolina. Congratulations.
I don't know, man. They both probably can go 0-17. I'm just saying.
We're going to get a coin flip?
Hey, what you talking about, man? I don't know.
Are Carolina
at least Bryce Young is a lot better than Daniel Jones.
I will say, I think I know where Todd's going. Giants are playing Carolina. There we go. Let me wait for it. November 10th. We're all having breakfast burritos together. 6:30 a.m. in Munich, Germany.
Hey, Todd, your hometown. Your home country.
You know what my people say about that, Dominique? They say 9.
Hey, are you gonna represent your people, Todd?
I would rather than get up at 6:30 for that. I would rather have week-old gas station sushi, and I don't eat sushi.
Well, you'll have weak gas for sure.
Isaac.
I need a reminder of how bad those teams are.
Well, let's talk about a matchup that, again, was disappointing for some Atlanta fans. They were ready to start with that new quarterback, and they thought they were going up against Russell Wilson, but they got Justin Fields, and they were like, oh, we feel pretty good. Not necessarily. Was this a primetime game? Because Kirk Cousins played like it. The the Steelers defeat the Falcons 18-10.
You knew.
What a game.
I said this from the get-go. Until Atlanta proves something, nah. And Pittsburgh has a sneaky good defense. TJ Watt was a freaking menace that whole game. No doubt about it. There's weapons. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Darnell Mooney, only 1 catch. Kirk Cousins got to be better than that in that sense. Again, people claim they have weapons. I already named your 3 weapons. There is, in my opinion, nobody after Drake London and Bijan Robinson. Maybe you want to consider Darnell Mooney. Maybe. Kirk, there's going to be a period of adjustment. They're in a division that's clearly winnable. They're going to beat Carolina both games. They'll probably split the Saints, and it'll be between them and the Bucs. But nothing of this game shocked me. Nothing. Pittsburgh does what it always does. Defense leads the charge, and I think they announced today Justin Fields is going to go week 2. Mm-hmm. I think even if Russell Wilson was playing, same results would have happened.
Yeah, Falcons.
I told you. I warned you. I
will say this. The Steelers defense is sick, man. That boy TJ Watt is that guy's a nasty individual, man. He pretty much single-handedly won that game. With all the pressure, he pressured the quarterback every freaking play, pretty much. And for him to have that motor, got to give him credit. Defensive player of the year, probably again. No offensive touchdowns for the Pittsburgh, but their kicker should have gotten a bonus, man. He gave them 18 points. So give the kicker credit and give Falcons. I thought the Falcons were actually going to, be a little more competitive. It was a really competitive game. Just the fact that Kirk Cousins just didn't do what I thought he could have done. He's like a B- Dak Prescott. And, I think the Falcons are going to win that division. It's a tough defense. I see them bouncing back next week, hopefully. But, give credit to the Steelers, man. That defense is no joke.
Matt, I think you're giving Kirk Cousins way too much credit.
He's a B- Dak Prescott, man.
Dak is way far better and has a better resume
I
than
said
that.
B-.
I'm just saying, C-
A
is
B-
more like it.
If he's a B- Dak Prescott in the quarterback world, that would make him like a D+ overall quarterback.
Correct.
You know what? Hey, on prime time, he's an F. I'll say that.
Yeah, there you go. That's the difference.
Yeah.
All right, so it moves it on to the Seahawks versus the Broncos.
Oh, here we go.
I will say this, and I'm going to take a minute on this one. It took them 22 years for some reason for them to bring back them retros, and they did it twice last year, and the fans absolutely ate it up, and I did too. And I was not expecting – they really didn't announce this till like maybe a day before game time that they were going to go with the retros again, and it was only scheduled for one game this year to go the retros again. I have a feeling the players really liked it, and they might stick with it all season. I got a chubby just watching that Seahawk logo, the old school helmet at midfield. That was sick. But with that aside, the first half I was super disappointed. Again, we were running a basic, boring offense, not realizing we have outstanding receivers and not running the ball at all. And the offensive line was just like Olay, letting all the defenders in. Second half, I mean, we literally, all Denver's points came off of Seahawk miscues. And it happened with two safeties we gave them. I mean, it's rare when you give up one. You gave up two in this game. Then you fumbled a punt return. You throw an interception in your own 30. It just goes to show you how good the Seahawks defense was. I was very impressed with their defense. Their corners are great. Bo Nix did nothing in this game. Seattle dominated, I think, on both sides of the football, especially in the second half, got Kenneth Walker going, and they made the game still tight, which I predicted in last week's show. I said this was going to be uncomfortably tight, and it was for no reason. They should have blown out Denver.
No, yeah. I mean, it's
yeah.
Bo Nix, like I said, I think he's going to be a decent quarterback in this league, but I mean, he played like a rookie. That Seahawks defense, I mean, I think it's going to keep him in a lot of games this year. It's all about, Geno Smith can play, mistake-free football as much as possible. Feed them receivers to football, man. That's all, like Todd says, they got really good receivers in Seattle, man. Fucking use them.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, dominant running back. He can move the ball. He can move the chains. Not a problem. The pieces are there for Seattle, and this is coming again from a 49ers fan, but the pieces are there. But to have to, for Todd to have to clench his butthole for that long of a time against the Denver Broncos, that man was straining for a while. Even I was a little, is Denver really going to do this? But
Oh,
Seattle,
you were giddy.
But I feel whenever I watch Seattle Seahawks football, to me, they are always a second half team. They'll, struggle in the first half, but they make those halftime adjustments, and they'll make you pay in the second half on your sins. So one of those situations, again, is Denver the lesser team between the two on paper and overall? Absolutely. And of course, there's things to clean up for Seattle, but these are the games where you're just going to look back at the schedule and said, okay, doesn't matter how it looked. We got the W. Let's move on to the next week and fix what we have to fix.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to close my camera for a second. I'm going to say this, though. Denver did look decent, but I feel like with Geno Smith for the Seattle Seahawks under the helmet, they're not going to be as consistent. I do like them winning. We all picked Seattle to win, but I will say Denver definitely gave them the scare, and that's not good for the Seattle Seahawks fan. And I know Todd was scared in that one, but I will say Seattle found a way to pull it off. Got to give them credit where credit is due. I like Geno, but I'm with Todd with him as far as the quarterback. It's not going to be a good season if he's under the helmet.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that'll move us on to our next game, which was a Las Vegas West Stadium at SoFi. Again, the overwhelming Raiders fans in attendance took on the Chargers, and this was, again, Antonio Pierce's first year at the helm, as last year was more of an interim than made coach. He was going up against a guy who a lot of us picked to lose that first game in Harbaugh, but the Chargers showed you something and kept this game close. And here's a problem I have, and this is all I'm going to say about the game. I saw a little bit of the game, but I'll just say this. I said it all last year. Minshew can be good, but he can be bad the next week, and he's on one and he's off one. And it appears he started the season off one.
I said a little while ago, I'll eat crow a little bit. After watching the AFC West teams, yet we all know it's Kansas City. I had put last week Chargers at the bottom. And Todd, you gave me a freebie and said, you're not going to go with your ex-coach, Harbaugh? And I was like, I don't know. I think I may regret that decision because from what I saw, they committed to the run. If it was Dobbins or Gus Edwards, Herbert getting to his receivers. Ladd McConkey is going to be very nice. He's going to be a nice inside slot receiver, almost like what Hunter Renfrow was to the Raiders his first year when Derek Carr was there. I think the Chargers, if I could do it over again, I would put them in second place. Based on what I saw, I would immediately do that. Denver at the bottom, Raiders at the 3. So even though I can't change my picks and I won't change my picks, I'll stick with my gut. But if I could, I think the Chargers are going to be much better than I thought they would be. And that wasn't a Raiders South game. That was freaking WrestleMania on the field and in the stands. God have mercy on your soul. Whoever tries to go to those rivalry games, man, oh man.
No, I'll say this. I'm with Dom. I might have to eat a little crow. I think the Chargers going to be a little better. I did say in that first show they're going to be a team that's going to be a lot more run heavy with Harbaugh at the helm, and it clearly showed. I think if J.K. Dobbins can stay healthy, I think he's going to do wonders for him. Like I said, I think they're now the second place team. I can't change my pick, but the Raiders, all I gotta say is Devontae Adams going to be a Jet by the trade deadline, baby. Let's go.
Matt?
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh had his team ready. I'll give him credit for that. Raiders, week 1, I think they're going to be better than that game showed. And Justin Herbert, I know you're negative on Justin Herbert, Randy, but let's give him credit. I think he's a top 15 quarterback. I think Harbaugh can turn that team into a playoff team.
He's a big.
So I got to give credit to the Chargers. They did really good. So, yeah, that's my take on that one.
All right, so we'll jump to the next game. The Washington Woke went into Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. I'm just going to say this. I'm happy for Mayfield. I like the coach. What is his name? Todd
Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I like what he's doing. I think he's a perfect fit for not New York when he was there in New York, but I think he's a perfect fit in Tampa. I think he's and I like what Tampa's doing. And this was an easy pick, dude. I mean, if you pick the Woke, I mean, you're beside yourself. The Buccaneers.
I know somebody who did.
Yeah.
But I just tell you, it was an easy win for the Bucs.
Yeah, I don't have much to say this. I didn't really watch this game, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Bucs were a playoff team last year, and the Commanders are still rebuilding as far as we know. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The one positive, if you're a Commando fan, that quarterback, Daniels, has a bunch of promise, and out of all the rookie quarterbacks, even though there's not many of them playing, Jaden Daniels is going to be a legit quarterback. I think he is on the same tree as Lamar Jackson. They can throw, they can run heavy because he had 2 rushing touchdowns and 88 yards. I think the separator between Lamar Jackson and Daniels has accuracy. And I think he will develop as this organization rebuilds through the drama and the politics and the ownership changes. I expected a little more from wide receiver Terry McLaurin and that, combination. But Tampa Bay, tip of the cap, they do what they do best. You feed your big 3 guys, Godwin, Evans, and White, and you let everybody else play their role. Very role positionally, and Baker does the exact right things, checks off the list onto the next game. So if textbook wins you games, Tampa Bay is the model textbook team right now.
Let me jump in real quick. I got to give credit to Baker Mayfield, man. 4 touchdowns, over 200, I believe it was 296 yards he had. Dude was excellent. And I was shocked that they won. I actually picked the Commanders to win. I just thought Dan Quinn would have his team ready. I thought Daniels would have a pretty solid game, but give credit to the Bucks. They played solid. Evans did great. White did great. Godwin, that, like you said, Dominic, that three-headed monster, that's going to be a tough team to beat if they're all clicking on 4 cylinders. And if Baker is connecting like he did last week, hey, man, look for the Bucks. They could snuff that conference win, man, from the Falcons.
There you go. So that'll move us on to the game of the week, the Fox NFL game of the week. You had the Dallas Cowboys going on the road to the Cleveland Browns. And what was more surprising, Tom Brady being boring in the sports broadcast?
Don't be so disrespectful, man.
Or the Browns playing O-line offense? Man, or is the Cowboys defensive line that good?
You're so disrespectful. You're so disrespectful to the GOAT, man. Tom Brady, give him some respect, Todd.
Go for it, Matt. This is your team. Take first shot.
Hey, I got to give credit to Dallas. A lot of the analysts had Browns just beating the heck out of us. I had Browns winning in the beginning of the season, but then as things went on, I picked the Cowboys to win, and I was proud of my team. It wasn't a flashy win, but a win nonetheless. We were down 3-0 after that field goal, and then from there, it's just like Dallas took over. Great pass on the sideline to CeeDee Lamb. That was an excellent pass. Threw it perfectly. And then on the back shoulder fade over there to Brandon Cooks, that was a great pass. Only placed it where Cooks can grab it. And then from there, we just played solid. Our defense was excellent. We gave up a couple of late touchdowns in the second half, but, we can live with that. I will say this. I hate the fact that we let the foot off the gas. We should have dominated that game, and we should have beat them worse than what we did. I think the final score was 33-17. Not bad, but they should have beat them maybe 42-7 or 42-10. That would have been a statement game. A good win nonetheless. Not very excited, but excited nonetheless at the same time.
I'll say if you're looking for, and this is just me, I kind of got to disagree with Matt a little bit here because, if you're looking for a statement game, I would say going out and fucking putting it to the league's best defense is a fucking statement. The Cowboys did just that, man. Put 33 points on the league's best fucking defense, man. You can't ask for more than that, man.
Let me ask you this, though, Randy. And Dominic and Todd, y'all can interject. As a defensive team, if you're a defensive team and your offense is playing like poop, do you play your hardest?
Well, I watched the Jets defense play their fucking guts out.
I was just about to say,
one of the worst quarterbacks room to ever grace an NFL fucking field.
I was going to say, Randy? Did you not watch Jets football last year? Their defense carried that team.
Yeah, but the defense also said, you know what, I give up because, hey, the offense ain't doing much.
I disagree with it. I think Dallas's offense just put it to them. They're that they.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Dak only had 1 touchdown.
It doesn't matter. They still manhandled them, and the defense manhandled the Browns. Deshaun, they manhandled them so bad that Deshaun Watson got another sexual allegation.
You know what, man? You're so disrespectful. You're very disrespectful.
Woo! No, I think it was the perfect storm of Dak had something to celebrate with his new deal. CeeDee Lamb on the field for the first time. Dallas always loves going out and starting the season on a high note. I think Cleveland underestimated Dallas. I think they walked in and thought Dallas is going to be America's team. Dallas is going to choke, all this stuff, and we'll be there to pick up the pieces. So I think it was just that perfect storm of everything. But I think Dak Prescott did manage the game well, put the Cowboys offense into position to put Cleveland's defense on their back foot. And I think it worked out in the perfect scenario. So overall, a win's a win.
I loved it.
Good win for Dallas.
Yep. Hey, not being overcritical, but I just wish they kept the foot on the gas. That's all.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree.
Randy, anything?
I can't wait for y'all take. Ooh.
Well, that's one game away because we go to the Sunday night game, which was a good one. It went to
It was a good one.
overtime. The Lions take on the Rams, and I will just say this: you can't mention the Rams. You can't show a gain of a play, a good gain by the Rams. You can't show a turnover. You can't show a sack. Basically, anything positive, negative. We are going to see some Sean McVay. Sean McVay. I don't know if it's the NFL that has a chub for this guy, but you wouldn't know that the other coach exists on the Lions until they actually won the game and shook hands at the end of the game. It was the McVay fest. He was being shown more than the actual plays on the field. But I digress. A good game nonetheless. Your thoughts on a 26-20 Detroit win in overtime?
So disrespectful.
I'll say this because I'm probably going to be the shortest one. I didn't catch a damn ounce of this game. I ended up falling asleep after a whole day of watching ball, man. But I heard it went into overtime. I heard it was a really good game, and I feel bad for Stafford. 0-2, going back to Ford Field, man.
I think it could be simply said in my opinion, as this. Both teams had their chances. Both teams choked, and the Lions were able to get the last laugh and slip up one less time than the Rams. Clearly, we talked about it in the last week. The Rams are going to score a lot of points, but maybe not have defense. And I would say that was pretty much on point. Their defense didn't really force anything too crazy. It wasn't like they had 3 picks and Jared Goff had the worst day ever. The Rams really can't stop the run that well. Gibbs and Montgomery ran all over them, especially for the game-winning touchdown. So I think it was who had the least amount of mental mistakes. And the Lions ended up getting the last laugh by scoring a touchdown to open up overtime.
I'm with Dominic on this one. Both teams had opportunities to win the game. It went into overtime. Lions capitalized in overtime, scored the first touchdown. It's as simple as that. I will say it sucks for Puka Nacua, for the Rams fan.
Yeah.
They lost. That was a big injury for them. I believe he's out on the IR, so he's out at least 4 weeks. So that's a tough loss. Not only to lose, but to lose a prominent wide receiver like that. Tough loss there it is, nonetheless. So I don't know. Rams is still pretty good.
My fantasy team.
So,
Thoughts and prayers to my fantasy team.
Cooper Kupp.
Hey, I'm glad I didn't draft them this year. Yeah, but yeah, tough loss. Like it's tough loss, both off the field and on the field as well.
And I'll just say this too to finish up on it. Look, Lions played a good game. I was clearly impressed by them. Anything that the genius does, aka Sean McVay, he gets the best out of that team. I really hate the Rams, but it's hard not to respect them. So
Man,
I can't.
Shocking hearing you, Todd.
I can't stand it, but I have to give the devil his due. So I will do that. So I think I hate a guy more than Shanahan. So there. So let's move on. Speaking of Shanahan, we're gonna let these two guys duke it out on our right here.
Oh, I thought we were done.
Oh no, we're not done.
Wait,
the way that game ended, it was done.
Hey, Todd,
Huh.
let's me and you say our say, and then let them two duke it out.
Okay, yeah, they'll get the floor. Here's what will happen: the Niners. Did you guys know? By the way, the broadcast wanted to let you know that CMC wasn't playing, and that the Niners.
They kept saying it so many times.
Even as a Niner fan, I'm like, okay, let it go.
We get it.
Clearly, running back Jordan Mason is not white. We get it.
Yeah, Steve Elise was like, "Can we shut the hell up already? We know he's not playing."
Dude, even in the fourth quarter, they was talking about him not playing. I was like, okay.
But the Jets
go ahead.
Just saying the Jets would fall short 32-19. My impressions on this game, I don't know if they're the same as these guys here, but I was not impressed by the short game and why they did not open the ball up against that Niner defense. That was my biggest take out of this game. Why are we running the ball like the Seahawks out of the shotgun? And why are we taking these short, ill-advised passes instead of going down the field? That's all I got.
Real quick, I thought Aaron Rodgers looked a little rusty. He's 40 years old. He hasn't played in he only played just half of series in the first game of last year. So he kind of looked a little rusty. I think the Jets looked a little rusty. Started playing a little bit better in the second half, but I mean, man, the Niners are a good team. I hate to say it. You lose your star running back, your MVP running back, and your backup running back drops over 100 yards on the team. Ooh, that's nasty. So give credit to the Niners, man. They're just a really good team. And I hate to say it because I hate the Niners. No offense, Dominic. I hate you guys, but I got to give credit, man. You guys did really good, played a good team, and just the better team won. You guys take the floor.
Yeah. Randy, you want me to go or you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go first because I feel like I'm going to say some shit here.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I'm just going to go down the laundry list of shit I got here. Lack of pressure on Brock Purdy. We struggle to get any consistent fucking pressure on the kid. I mean, we're out-muscled physically at the fucking line of scrimmage. No in-game adjustments. While the Niners were busy adjusting, we weren't fucking doing shit. Breece Hall, big fucking disappointment. Kyle just...
He had a touchdown.
Number 4.
He had a touchdown.
Bro, I swear to God, I keep saying this. I swear to God, he was a ghost. Nobody else could see him, but the fucking TV audience was driving me fucking wild.
And Sam Darnold.
Secondary couldn't cover fucking shit. They wouldn't stop a nosebleed if they tried. Missed fucking tackles left and fucking right. Niners were just racking up extra yards like it was the thing to do and going out of style. This was a fucking joke. I know it was week 1. I know the Stars are a little rusty. They didn't play in the preseason. But holy shit, I'll say this. If we don't fucking nutsack and ransack the next motherfucking 4 teams convincingly, this team is a joke.
All right. Well, no, Randy and I, we talked a little bit last night throughout the game and after, and I echoed those sentiments. It was, we built this game up, or a lot of people built this game up as it was going to be a battle. Aaron Rodgers return, the 49ers after, the missed Super Bowl opportunity again, and everything that's on the line. And Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, they talked about it at length last night. There's a lot riding on the team wearing green, if it's Saleh, if it's Rodgers, if it's Nathaniel Hackett, if it's ownership, everybody. So to come out, fall flat like that was really surprising. For the 49ers side of things, that might have been the best performance I have seen from the 49ers offensive line in the last 5 years.
You're going too far, Dominic.
No. Dominic Pooney, the rookie. I don't care if he's my namesake and spells it the same way. Absolute dominance on that O-line. Trent Williams,
that man's a dog.
Per good as usual. Again, he's got to get some reps to get up to speed after missing all of training camp. But the offense looked good, not great. Ayuk dropped some balls. Again, rust is going to be on there. Debo was used in so many ways. Kittle, the amazing blocker that he is, getting the job done. Purdy, not a crazy game, 19 for 29, 231. He had an 89.9 QBR. Okay, pretty good game, but defense did its job. I will stand on the mountaintop for this one. Linebacker Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL. Punches that ball out of Breece Hall's hands. He's a freaking menace. He is everywhere on that field. Secondary was pretty good last night, except for Aaron Rodgers. I'll give it up to Aaron Rodgers. He is the king at free play situations. 19 touchdowns now in his career on penalty flag free plays. I'll give the man his due. Gets it to Alan Lazard, who was absolutely dog water last year. 2 tutties last night. I think it was just a solid game for the 49ers. Jordan Mason, he bull rushed the Jets D-line, evaporated them. And that was a point of contention that I knew that the Jets were going to be exceptionally strong at. And it ended up being a huge weakness last night for the Jets. So overall, if this is what the Niners are without McCaffrey, with Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk being rusty, and a couple other things sprinkled in that's not 100%, we're going to get Talanoa Ufunga back. McCaffrey, they did reveal potentially it is Achilles tendonitis, which could have him out a couple of weeks. I'd say 4 weeks. 10-1 the Niners, if Mason's going to run like this, keep CMC out for the first 4 weeks or put him on the IR and let him rest. Because if you know what the end goal is to get to February and get to the Super Bowl in New Orleans, you want him on the back half of the year, not the front half. And I would be completely content If the O-line and Mason do what they do, bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go.
Good takes. Good takes.
So that's the end of week 1, guys. Do you want to jump into the picks, or should we start the show, or how do you want to do it, Randy?
No, yeah, we'll just start doing these.
Just
picks.
jump in it.
All right, let's jump into the picks. All right, so we're going to go right to Miami and the Buffalo Bills, an early season game that should not be wasted on a Thursday night, but it is. It's wasted on
This is a good Thursday night game. Tom, what are you talking about?
It shouldn't be.
It should be Sunday Night Football.
Yes, exactly. This should be Sunday Night Football. Instead, we're going to have 87 degrees and humidity down there in Miami. Tickets going for as low as $101 a piece. 2.5-point favorites are the Dolphins at home. What say you?
I'll take this one. A little AFC East action. No, I like this matchup. Dolphins and Bills are always a good fight. I like Bills in this one, man. I think Josh Allen is going to be Josh Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen, baby. Fuck Tua.
I will concur with Randy. I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. I think both defenses are okay at best, and it's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks. One is mobile, one is not. And in this league, mobile quarterbacks seem to have the slight advantage in particular matchups. Josh Allen, I said he wills his team to wins, but would you rather have this game on Sunday Night Football where it should be, or we get Houston hosting Mr. Painted Fingernails? Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That Sunday night game is going to be horrible.
Yeah,
that's
but
crap.
Yeah, but Bills for me.
I'm going to go. I agree with you on that one. I agree with both of you, Randy and Dom, especially with the Josh Allen take with the will to win. He definitely has the will to win. I'll give you that. I'm just going to pick Tua and the Dolphins only simply because Tua has more weapons. And yes, Josh Allen does have the will to win, and he willed his way to win against Arizona last week. I just don't know if he can do that again against a competitive team like the Dolphins. Both defense are going to be suspect, but I got the Dolphins.
I'm going to make it simple. I like Buffalo to show up with some nice defense there and get the W. So I think it's going to be like a 23-20 game. I think it's the Bills who win by 3. Let's move on to the Sunday game. And how about them Cowboys taking on the New Orleans Saints? Tickets going as low as $69 for this game.
Let's go.
Cowboys are 6.5-point favorites at home.
I'm going to take this one. I'm going to be short and sweet. Let's go, Cowboys.
I'm going to second that. New Orleans has to play an actual team this week. Dallas's defense do the same exact thing. Rinse and repeat. 2-0 Cowboys.
Hey, I'm just as anti-Cowboys as the rest of the country, but you know what? The Saints, like you just said, Dom, they get to fucking face a real team, a real defense, a real quarterback this week. The Saints are going to get their ass kicked. Give me the Cowboys 40-14.
Oh, I like that, Randy.
I agree. This is where Dak looks like he earns his contract because it's September football, baby. That's what the Cowboys do. They stay undefeated.
Oh,
that defense! Hey, that defense! You know what, Todd? I saw what you did there. I heard what you did there. All right, that's very disrespectful. Okay, all right, you're right, but it's disrespectful. But hey, look, that Saints defense. You saw what they did to the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's the Panthers, though. Come on. The local high school team could do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got a peewee team out here that could probably, they'd be
taller right here could take it to the Panthers.
Man, I know 10-year-olds that are bigger than Bryce Young.
We all got Cowboys.
God.
Now here's a very underrated game: the Detroit Lions hosting the Buccaneers. The tickets going low for 110. The total points are 51.5, but Detroit is a 7-point favorite. I don't know about that.
No, I mean I'll take the points. I like Detroit in this one. Tampa Bay's going to get their W's this year, but I think Detroit's just a slightly better team, and it's not prime time, so I don't think Dan Campbell's going to totally overthink himself. So give me the Lions in this one, somewhere along the lines of 27-17.
This is an NFC divisional rematch from last playoffs. The winner was going to San Francisco for the championship. The points I'm not digging. I think it should be a little bit closer. I think 7 is very fair for Detroit. Detroit should win this game. They need to get Amon-Ra St. Brown involved way more than they did against the Rams.
Yes.
I think this could be the highest scoring game of the week, the entire week, and that includes Thursday and Monday. I think this really could be. Detroit's at home. I'm going to give them the slight edge. I would say instead of 7, I would say 3. I think I'm going to say 34-31 Detroit.
Ooh.
I'm with you, Dom. If Tampa was at home, I would have picked Tampa. It's just basically come down to home field advantage. I'm giving the Lions the slight edge. I'm with you, maybe a field goal game, only because they got home field advantage.
I, too, will agree with you, too. I think it's going to be 27-24. I think Tampa Bay makes a mistake at the end. I like Detroit to skirt out of Detroit 2-0 to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is one where I think the points aren't big enough. The Colts go into Green Bay. Green Bay, with their troubles, are only a 3-point dog at home. Low total point.
Quarterback?
Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik,
the ex-Tennessee quarterback.
Go Colts!
Yeah, I mean, look, in my opinion right here, this is a game that I will just say this. I'm taking the Colts. I think they're going to – I'm not high on Richardson at all, but I will say that they'll probably keep the Packers defense out there long enough to put them out of their misery mid-third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's Packers for me. I mean, like it's just going to come down to quarterback play, plain simple.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm picking the Colts. I don't trust the Packers' backup quarterback situation. I feel like they're defeated. You lose your star quarterback, chances are you usually lose your season. So give me the Colts. I don't trust Richardson like Todd said either. He does have an arm, but look for him to get his first win of the season.
Give me the horseshoe. Give me the Colts.
There you go. Then they'll move us into what I think is the bounce back game of the week. I think it's the Jets and the Titans. I'm picking the Jets to beat the Titans. Tickets going to those $44. It'll be 75 degrees and cloudy. The Jets are a 3.5-point favorite and a low scoring total points at 40.5.
I swear to God, if Randy picked the team, I swear to God, Randy. I swear to God, Randy, if you pick this team, I'm going with the Jets. Ain't no question about it. Let's go on. Come on, y'all.
All right. Dominic knows how he is. Maddie's going to get a little taste. Todd's going to get a little taste.
I'll say this.
The Jets are going to win this game. This is going to be a bounce back game. We're definitely winning this game. But
now here we go.
In the sake of competition, I'm taking the Titans.
Oh, this I know this.
I
move,
told you, but don't underestimate me.
I know. I've seen this move up close and personal to try to get back in the point standings. You got to try. It's the Jets. I'll give Aaron Rodgers home opener. He's going to try to right the wrongs from last year's, 4 plays at MetLife. They need a bounce back. Let's be real. They need a bounce back. And Tennessee had a decent defense against Chicago, but who wouldn't against Fingernail Boy? But Aaron Rodgers, we're going to clean things up. He was short and quick to the point in the press conference last night. We just got to be better. And I think they got to take it to heart. The biggest question I have, though, for the Jets, and this could be a Randy, we talked about it at length last night. Sauce Gardner comes out of the second quarter, doesn't appear to be injured. The PR department says no injury, never checks back in the game.
No, he came back.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Turns out he apparently he was just long-winded. Like I said, these guys did not play a lick in the preseason, other than the joint practices. So I mean,
interesting.
He was talking about catching his breath and shit. I'm like, God damn, Sauce, how are you that out of shape?
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, for an all-pro kind of guy, that took me for a loop a little bit.
No more 2-a-days, no more real preseason anymore, and no more extended practices. So there you go.
It's like Aaron Rodgers said, training camp actually used to be fucking hard.
Yeah, not no more. So that moves us on to the 49ers going into Minnesota. Skull Vikings.
49ers.
Right, Niners are 6-point favorites in this one. I think that's way too low. Who wins the game between the Niners and Vikings?
I'll take this one first. You know what? You know, the Niners look a little mediocre this season. No. No, it's the Niners all the way. Like, Sam Darnold had his fun against the fucking Giants. Now reality sets in. The Niners are going to, skull fuck the Vikings. I'm talking like, give me like 40-14, dude.
Ooh.
Does this say enough?
No.
I don't know. Can you guys read it? No. The
San
Niners.
Fernando?
Honestly, yeah, it's the Niners, clearly. I think the only thing that the Niners you don't take anybody for granted, but the biggest thing, Justin Jefferson is the main weapon. That is the Vikings' main weapon. You're going to plan around him. You still got to prepare for everything else. But, throw an extra guy over there because Jefferson can make any quarterback look great. But give me the Niners.
Simply put, let's go Niners. Easy win. Vikings have no chance.
Curses haven't kicked in yet, so it's September football. Niners get an easy W. Moving on to my team, which is scaring the shit out of me. Seattle goes to New England to play the Patriots. Seattle only a 3.5 point favorite and a really low total points of 37.5, 72 degrees and partly cloudy in Foxborough. Give me Seattle and a stupid butt clinching win.
No, I like Seattle on this one too, man. I mean, it's the Patriots. Like I said, the Patriots played hard in that first game, but they're going to come crashing back down to earth. That Seattle defense I should say the Patriots offense is no match for that Seattle defense. So yeah, give me the Hawks in this one. I would say like somewhere along the lines of like 24 to like 12.
I hope you're right, because if we don't throw it to the receivers,
it'll be a field goal game for Patriots. I promise you.
No, I got the Seahawks. The only way New England pulls out the upset, they have to make one, even two amazing defensive pendulum swinging moments, a pick six, some sort of a turnover that leads to points. So I don't know if they have, maybe they got one in them. I don't think they have multiple. Give me Seattle.
Call me somebody else, but I'm picking the Patriots, man. I got an upset brewing. I got an upset brewing, man. Hey, I think that Patriots team is better than we think.
All right.
No,
I got the Patriots.
No, they ain't.
We will remember that. So now everyone's favorite quarterback, the best quarterback in the league, Daniel Jones, leads the Giants into play the Woke in Washington's home opener. And the Woke are a 1.5 point favorite. So that goes to show you how much they respect.
This is an ugly game.
Give me the Woke. Give me the Woke.
Give me them Redskins.
Yeah, give me Washington.
Give me the Woke for the W. So
what?
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I thought
no way.
Giants. Never mind.
Yeah, ain't no way Giants are winning.
I thought you said the
but
Giants.
Daniel
No, he said, give me the Woke for the W.
Yeah, his last name is Jones, not Woke.
Yeah. Now you go to a game that they can't draw flies and the other team can't travel. So who's going to show up for this one? Tickets going as low as $23, 72 degrees and cloudy. The Chargers are a 6.5 point favorite on the road in Carolina.
Is this a question? Give me the lightning bolt.
Show me your bolt.
Question?
Show me your bolt. Show me your bendy bolt.
Is this a trick question?
No.
Yeah, give me the bolts.
Chargers.
All right. Yeah, everyone. All right. Chargers all around.
Unanimously.
Yeah, exactly. That'll move us on to that's the next game. Cleveland Browns at Jacksonville Jaguars, the tale of overpaid quarterbacks. You have Deshaun Watson getting his butt tickled by Asian women, and Trevor Lawrence looking like a WNBA star, not able to throw a pass. Jacksonville is 3 point favorites.
Yeah,
give me the Jags. Look for Travis Etienne to have a great game.
Yeah, give me the Jags. Cleveland, that defense, they shit the bed, man. So I don't know if I can trust them just yet.
It's like, can you trust either one of them? Like, you can't trust either one of them. So you're kind of in a situation where, again, who's going to make the least amount of fuck ups? Is it going to be Jacksonville offensively getting it done, or Cleveland not being boneheads on defense?
Which quarterback's just going to do just enough to get the dub?
Because I could see a situation where Cleveland's D line bull rushes the Jags O line and Trevor Lawrence has 0 time all game long to pass. But I could see at the same time Deshaun Watson sucking and Trevor Lawrence just doing enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For this, I'm going to play a little gamesmanship, a little chess. Both of you took Jacksonville. I'm not going to risk losing a game in the standings, so give me Jacksonville.
If Joe Flacco was still a quarterback, give me Cleveland all day, but I'm going to take the Jaguars barely winning. I would even go for a tie at this point, but give me the Jaguars. Now the next game we got there it is with going into Baltimore. Both teams are 0-1. Baltimore is a 9.5-point favorite at home.
Yeah, give me Baltimore. I mean, at home. The Raiders are now they're the probably third place team in that division. So yeah, give me the Baltimore Ravens at home.
No question. Give me the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens.
Give me the running back to get the victory for the Ravens. The next one is surprisingly the lowest amount to get into the stadium. $21 will get you a nice seat in Arizona for the Rams and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites. I don't agree with that.
Honestly, the Rams have the better offense. It's going to be an offensive game. I think the Rams defense is clearly a step above Arizona's based on last week. Give me the Sean McVay Whams.
Rams.
I got the Cardinals.
Mm.
I got the Cardinals covering the spread. I got them. Going to be a close game. Both defense sucks. Give me the Cardinals.
I got McVay dominating that midget. Give me the Rams. Now, the game that should have been all about Russell Wilson and his Broncos country, let's ride to the Steel City, let's ride. He's not a part of the game, as Dominique talked about earlier. The Steelers with Justin Fields go into Denver to take on Knicks. And again, surprising point total on this one. Steelers only rocking a 3-point favorite. It's going to be 87 degrees in Mile High City, though. Does that play a factor?
It
I'll go ahead
might.
and take this one. I think it is. Give me the Broncos in an upset.
Ooh.
And as a matter of fact, I'll take you one step further. Second half, Russell Wilson will be starting.
Oh.
Ooh. I think Pittsburgh did not want the distraction and the PR nightmare of starting Russell Wilson this week, going back to Denver with all that debacle with Sean Payton. Even if they were healthy, whatever the case may be, they didn't want the PR nightmare. One more distraction that they don't want. Give me the defense. Give me Pittsburgh. 3 points, I would say, is palatable in that case. But it could be a long kicking game. Look for Chris Boswell to hit some big ones in the Mile High Stadium.
Give me the Steelers to win. That defense is just extraordinary, and I feel like they just continue to dominate. So give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I think defensively, Bo Nix is going to be facing a worse opponent than he did, and he looked bad last week. He's going to take his lumps early. I don't like Justin Fields either, but damn, even with Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh's offense wouldn't move that much, but that defense is too much. So give me the Steelers in a victory there too.
Ooh, I'm out on an island on this one.
You sure are. The next game is Joe Burrow and them Bengals going into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 6-point favorite. 47.5 is your total points. 84 degrees. And
Hey,
humid
can we
in
all
the-
say it together at the same time?
What? You want to say it all at the same
I'm
time?
sure we all going to pick the Chiefs.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Taylor
Bengals.
Swift.
What?
Please, Taylor Swift. She's gonna shake her thing all over the place. But it's distracting Kelsey. He's not the same tight end as he was. I'm sorry.
He likes
It's
her
true.
tight end.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think you're gonna get a fake Cincinnati team. They're gonna have you're gonna get a 1 week resurgence where they're gonna look like the Cincinnati of old because they're playing the Chiefs, all the talk, everything. Jamar Chase is gonna want to go off. T. Higgins is probably going to play. It's going to look and fool's gold, everybody. This is the preview of the AFC title game. And then week 3, whoever Cincinnati plays, one of those situations. But
I can see
still,
that.
more weapons on Kansas City. It's Mahomes. It's Kelsey. Chiefs.
I like the Bengals in this one. I think the Bengals get the W, man. I roll with Burrow to win this division, and I'm not giving up just yet.
All right, please
Are you
be
trolling?
right.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Be right for America. I will be happy to lose this game.
That sounded like 10-6 right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Randy.
I know. I suck. I picked the Broncos.
All right, so now, speaking of fingers and nails, the Chicago Bears, go into Houston to take on the Texans. And I think the better quarterback is wearing red, white, and blue. Houston
That's
is
a
a
Sunday game, right?
Yes, it is.
On the
the night game.
It's on Peacock. Houston is a 7-point favorite. Tickets going as low as 150. Does the USC retired number get the W? Or do the Texans?
Okay, we can all say it on 3 on this one, right? We all can agree on this one, right?
I think so.
Okay.
So 1,
you want to do it on the count of 3?
2, 3.
H-Town.
Houston.
Texans.
H-Town, baby. At home? Come on.
Yeah. No brainer.
Only if the Bears play the Titans again or any other cheap team like Carolina am I going to pick them all year, dude. Because remember how that went last year, Matt? How many times was I right? I was 13-3 when picking against the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, save that pick because Sunday, October the 6th, 10 a.m., Bears will be hosting Carolina.
Ooh.
Good God.
Hey,
we got
fans,
Carolina Giants,
tune in
Carolina
a couple
Bears
weeks
in the
from
same
now.
season?
I'll still take Carolina.
Oh, God.
So that sets us up for the Monday night game. And fresh off the victory, Matt's favorite team, the Eagles, host the Falcons. You got, look, this is unwanted pressure for our guy from Atlanta, Kirk Cousins. You got now anything he does, if they go 0-2, man, they are going to be screaming for that first round pick to get that start the following week. Because in the NFL, you cannot waste starts in games. And losing that first game to Pittsburgh really hurts because now the Falcons can't afford to go 0-2, and the Eagles are playing with house money.
Yeah, give me.
go ahead.
Just give me Mike Trout's Fly Eagles Fly.
Yeah, go ahead and get them a chance for the new quarterback ready. Go Eagles.
I think Saquon repeats 3 touchdown performance.
Ooh, I don't know. I think this might be a Jalen Hurts show. He might step in and do his thing. We all picking the Eagles to win, but I don't know. I see this as a Jalen Hurts show.
I say it's September football, and the Eagles will play good in September as well, just like Dallas. And they're going to remain undefeated.
It's that
I hope I'm wrong, though.
NFC East thing. It's an NFC East thing.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope Atlanta wins.
Nah, this is gonna be an Eagles victory right here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Mike Trout will be proud.
Yeah.
So that, with that being said, those are our picks for the week. We did a recap show too. If you like what you see and you like what you hear on the podcast form, you can tune into One Jets Pod which is the Unfiltered Sports Cast. And if you like Jets football, there's only one Jets Pod to YouTube to check out. That's Randy Yaz and his co-hosts as they talk Jets football and do live post games. So you might want to check that out.
And to show how dedicated I am, I did this at work with a little distraction, but I'm still here.
I'm here. You're Patrick Mahomes. I'm here.
Yeah, again, thanks for checking us out here, guys, on the One Jets Pod. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can also find us on the Unfiltered Sports Podcast, pretty much all the platforms like you see right there, Apple Pod, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We're also on Instagram, X, and, of course, here on YouTube. So, on behalf of Todd Fox, Matty Matt, and Mr. Champagne Problems himself, Dominic Lorenz, we'll see you down the road.
Later.
Bye.